What's up, my precious little pack, and welcome back to Vega Conflict. So, a few things have come up on the forum that I've noticed. Kixeye believes that the rate at which players advance should be limited, and how they did this most recently was by decreasing the PAL in Sector Strike and Planet Strike and increasing the difficulty. I am at a loss of words. They have a limited, and I do mean limited, player base that isn't going to grow back. And instead of trying to find ways to encourage them to play or encourage them to do anything in game, they just give them another reason to leave the game. Why, in any reason, if I just randomly decide I'm going to make garbage videos and then say you all have to deal with it, you wouldn't have to watch, and that's exactly what I'm going to say here. You don't have to play Vega if it is no longer playable to you. The game is going downhill, and it has been for years and years, and it's just... they want money and nothing more, and if I was smart, if any of their intelligent people that work there are smart enough to understand the most basic principles of how to make money, they would fix the games. They're not doing that. They're just trying to push people further and further away under the basis that you need a coin to play. It's wrong, but that's what they're doing. And I will not encourage that. And I especially don't expect any of you to obey by that. You don't have to play their games. There's hundreds, if not thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of real strategy games that you can pay $15, $20, $25, $30 for that can give you so much better of a play experience than Vega can. Vega is unique under the fact that it is an MMO with progression system, but all games have progression systems, do they not? Whether it be leveling up, upgrading something, improving something, getting better equipment, or something, there's always some progression system. Some companies want you to progress very quickly so you can get to the end game stuff, so you can keep up with current stuff if they're free to play, so you can play with them and the development team actually plays their own game. Kixeye does not seem to do that. They seem to go quite backwards and do quite the opposite of that. They want you to take the longest amount of time. They want you to coin your arse off for them. They want you to spend your money that you worked for them on a game that frankly isn't worth playing much anymore. And I wouldn't encourage people to play it. I wouldn't promote people to play it. I wouldn't ask people to play it. I would ask people to come join me in Heroes of the Storm, StarCraft, Warcraft, Halo, Command & Conquer, Grand Theft Auto, any of these other names, just the first of the games to pop in my head. I would recommend people to come join me in them before I'd recommend any game from Kixeye. And yes, I have played multiple games of theirs. I've played Battle Pirates, and my God, am I never going to go back to that game. I've played War Commander, and I did play for a very long time. I logged in yesterday just to see how the game is, and it's not as bad as Battle Pirates, and neither is Vega, but they're both making their way in that same direction. And I just cannot wrap my head around why any sane company would do that to a game, but it's Kixeye. They should have their own textbook definition of stupidity. But that's about it, and they just don't want people to advance. It's as simple as that. They want you to pay to play their game, which in turn isn't worth the money that goes into it. What I'm saying is all of you who pay to play this game, you're wasting your money. I could recommend hundreds of other games that I've played that you can buy a copy on eBay. You can get original disc sets of games that are 20 years old that I run on a Windows 7 computer, a Windows 8, blah blah blah, all of that. And they will provide you more entertainment, and they're all multiplayer still. All you have to do is just ask people if they want to join you in another game, and just leave this, and then just have a set up scheduled time where you can just log in, play, mess around in the game. There's also other free-to-play games that I can guarantee are better than Vega, because I play a lot of them. Jumping out of the RTS realm, which I don't think Vega deserves to have anymore. I don't think it deserves to be called a free-to-play or an RTS game anymore. Granted, you do have to use your brain to choose how to set up your ships, but that's about it. They're slowly getting away from how you use your brain. They're just going for, you take damage, you have no say in the matter, you repair your stuff. We're good now. But the first one that I can come to is Warframe. I play it on a fairly regular basis every day or two for around half an hour to an hour, and it isn't some super mega monster grindy game. Granted, you still have to grind for stuff, but not as hard as you do in Vega. I still don't even have all the blueprints in Vega. I've been playing Warframe for less time in total than I've played Vega for, and I have access to everything. That isn't mastery locked at any rate. There's that little thing, but I'll touch on that if I play Warframe at any point on my channel. But for now, the game is unstable, improperly balanced, and in general just an insult to any respectable player that has played RTS games, because it is not an RTS game. It is more of a, you set up something and then you leave it. You can command your ships, you can move them around. That's fine. A lot of games do that, but they don't slap an RTS tag on it. World of Tanks isn't an RTS game. And you take control of a tank, you drive it around, you shoot other tanks. Is it grindy? Yes. But not as grindy as Vega. Nowhere near as grindy. And Kixeye has failed to comprehend that the most basic of basic reasons to play Vega was... I don't even know at this point. That's how bad it's become. And I'm not gonna play it that much on the channel. I'm gonna do other things. And speaking of which, the next thing up to be released tomorrow is the first gameplay video of StarCraft's campaign, the first one. So for anyone who doesn't own it or can't pay the $15 to get it, well, you get to watch me play the campaign, along with hundreds of other people who've played the campaign, and who will probably keep playing the campaign, because that is a classic RTS game that, along with Command & Conquer, brings hundreds of hours of gameplay, and you just don't get bored. You build the same units, they die, you rebuild them. You don't have to repair garbage in that other than your base when you're playing as the Terran. And there is no absurdly long repair times. It doesn't take you X number of decades to play the game. People have put in oomph number of decades into the game just because it's worth it. The $15 price tag is on it. It could be way higher, but it's not, and that's another thing that makes it a beautiful game. I would play just about any other game over Vega at this point just because of the way they've taken the game. It's, at its core, is the game playable? That is highly debatable, and you guys can actually do that in the chat below. Just please keep it collective and, well, keep it collective and keep it courtesy based, and don't go jumping off the rails on other people. And keep an eye on the comments. If you see a comment that's like-minded to yours, add to it. And something else I want to say is, I will recommend that anyone who plays Vega play any other strategy game. If you're fed up with Vega, literally, take a look at StarCraft, take a look at Warcraft, just look at any of Blizzard's games, look at EA's, well, I'm not going to say EA's because EA never had the control that Command and Conquer had when Westwood did it. Play any of the games of Command and Conquer under Westwood. They may be small pixel games, but they're going to bring you hours of entertainment just because they are fun. You play with your friends, you play against your friends, doesn't matter, just play the game to have a good time. I've seen more complaints on the Vega forum in the past 2 months than I have in any other game's existence. And granted, there's a lot of games that have forums that are just as toxic and negative, but when you have a player base that's so limited, though, you'd expect some light to shine through. And there was a post by Coiner that was even talking about how the game has deteriorated and what it has become and what their viewpoint is as a coiner and a player. Now, I don't support nor endorse Kixeye, and anyone who disbelieves that and thinks I paid for this, no. This is the golden age of Kixeye, when they actually did respectable things for the player base. There was a problem. I was relocated while I was offline for that year where I just didn't really play, and I got $5 for it that I blew on that, which I doubt I needed at times, but now I look at it as a good thing because I can get 20 coins every 5 days. That skips an hour of whatever time I want. And none I haven't gotten up at all. I haven't been going through it, and it would be hilarious if you had already bought one, you could get more. And that's another thing. Kixeye. If people are willing to pay into your game, don't limit us to just one. If you want people to pay to play your game, then they need to get something back out of it. Unlock and allow us to unlock 10 commerce modules. Because you go in here, and it's in here. You only get one, because once you build it, it disappears. That's what I did. This is just one suggestion that Kixeye could do to fix the game, that they could just increase the limit of a certain structure. And in turn, this structure could produce more, because you don't have to buy it with actual money. You pay for the 5 up here. You get your 5, and you buy it down here. And it costs 300 coins. That is less than $5, so in turn you could wait a few months, save up those coins, and buy a second one. And you use both of them in more or less in unison to get the next one. You get more and more until you get 5. That, or get 4 of them, so it's an even amount in the game, so you can just go put them wherever you want. So for me, I put one here, one here, one here, one here. That's just one good suggestion for you, Kixeye. The game is... we love it and we hate it. But I just love to hate it. And the longer I play, the more I see everything that people are talking about. The games, the build times are ridiculous, and the only thing I have to say about those, they also expect you to refit when you get new tech. Don't refit. Keep your old tech on your ships. Build new ships. Don't refit, so you're never going to be bottlenecked with the number of ships you have, so you can always farm. Don't refit anything anymore. It's just not worth it. Just build brand new hulls with new weapons on them. That's what I'm doing. I got armor and stuff unlocked. This is still my first build for my ship, and in the time it's taken for it to get built, I've been unlocking stuff that I can put on the next one and improve upon it and build it up. I think I've gone fairly far to say everything I've done, so I think I'm going to call it good here before I rant on any longer. But I will at least just say this one last thing. Play any other game. If Vega is becoming so trolly and annoying to you, play any other game. And I could recommend StarCraft right off the bat. The remastered version came out. We have League of Legends. That's one just about everyone's heard of. Play Heroes of the Storm. You can play Command and Conquer. Steam has a selection. All you have to do is just slap the RTS tag on there, and you can get bunches of games, and I play a lot of them. We got Grey Goo. That's another one. That's another one I love. I played Grey Goo after I bought it on my older PC. It didn't run all that well, but I lowered the graphics, everything like that. First thing that popped in my head while I was playing it, am I playing Command and Conquer right now? That was the first thing I thought. That game gave me nostalgic feels, and you know what? I will probably bring it to the channel because I loved it enough, and I, in turn, don't think it got enough coverage when it was released. So I'm going to give it some coverage. But I'm going to leave the video here, everybody. What are your thoughts on Vega's current state of the game? What do you think of the game in general? How long do you think it's going to last? Because we all know it's going to fail ultimately. How long do you think it's going to last, though, before it fails? Kixeye thinks the game is going to keep going on for years. At the rate it seems, because they have stuff planned out for next year. They're making stuff half a year at a time. The game's gonna fail. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Leave your comments and your thoughts below, everybody. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps. If you have anything that you want to say, if you disagree or if you agree, anything, just say so below. If you have game recommendations that I may have, I'll see if I have them and I'll play them on the channel. But let's just see some comments and stuff going on down below for everybody. And try and keep it nice and positive in the comments. We're not going to be some trolly little scumbags. But that's it, everybody. I'll see y'all later before I rant and rave anymore.